Hello and welcome, my friends. I apologize that this is a recording. As you can hear, I am very sick. My children shared their plague and sickness with me earlier in the week, and well, I've been taking it slow and steady, and I didn't want to not proceed with some sort of support and reading for the following week, well, as we step into October. So I will do my best to give you a very short synopsis, and I may be taking a few breaks in between so that I can make sure my throat is doing better and that I can keep going. So without further ado, let's look at the first week of October. We're going to be ushering in October on, of course, that full harvest moon, and that this first week brings us not a lot of astrological excitement. The following week we have lots going on. That said, of course, my Canadian friends, this is going to be the kickoff to the Thanksgiving weekend, as Canada's Thanksgiving is always the second weekend in October, so I know many people are looking forward to that long weekend. That said, let's look at this week. Now, for my friends who've been here with me for a bit, you know that I did actually 2 unboxings this week. It was kind of like Christmas. This is the Tarot of the Witches Garden by Sasha Graham, and the illustrator, I can never say her name properly. Her name is Nastasia Ilinsiek. I couldn't tell you, but she does have a really pretty oracle deck. So I'm using that with the two. As you can imagine, the illustrations are very, very similar. So they do work really well together. All right, let's look at what the first week of October will bring, my friends. Okay, first card. We have the Nine of Cups in reversal. And then we have the Sun. October is going to be good, guys. We're stepping into a month that can be very anxiety-provoking for many people because we do have the thinning veil. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions. This month also has a Friday the 13th. We've got both a solar and a lunar eclipse, so there's lots happening along with that thinning veil. So there's lots going on that can provide added anxiety, whether it be like subconsciously or consciously. And well, this week kicks us off, reminding us that, you know what, that harvest is still coming in. The sun is shining. There is beauty, wonder, and joy, especially as we start to step into this weekend. Many of us are going to be going in and doing that family-orientated big meal celebration, and it's important that we do embrace that and know that there are really abundant areas in our life that are not so easily embraced or recognized. Those abundant pieces that are not physical but rather emotional or spiritual. Take time as we start to go into this week to take stock of this, because we're going to want to strengthen this, as that thinning veil gives us an opportunity to start to work with our gifts and abilities that we've been kind of pushed to the side and pushed deep down within ourselves. Start to embrace some of that aspect. Yes, the veil is still its normal thickness, if you will. Know that it's going to be really helpful this week to, well, start to work with it. Because even no matter what the veil status is, we have that ability to really reach out, reach for more supports, clear out some of that gunk and yuck, and, well, get down to some business, if you will. Tuesday, I do have a guardian angel healing, And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to help you release some of that burden, some of that guilt. Super helpful, especially when it comes to being, well, mindful and reflective on some of those aspects that are going right. Also, help you to work with some of these abilities because, well, that you were like working with that high vibration. And your guardian angel is one of the hardest energies to connect with because it's been with he or she has been with you since conception. So let's look at what supports will help, my friends, for this week. Know, guys, that a lot of us, I know, are still carrying a lot of that heaviness, a lot of that blahness. It will minimize our ability to connect into the high vibration because that blahness, sickness, just that energy funk really impacts our ability to connect into this stuff. So healing, releasing really is helpful, especially if that's something that you want to do this month, is to work with that high vibrational energy, connecting into your skills, and tapping into aspects of you that may have been forgotten or, well, shoved down. Storm. That blondness, that funkiness. We still have a lot of planets in retrograde. There's a lot of hostility still within our world. Know that people are going to be continue to be very reactive. Part of why we have this in reversal is the conflict, the fight that not only do we have internally, but that external piece as well. So be mindful of people and how they are triggering you, how you're absorbing energies. Those things will really minimize that ability to connect into the sun and to these abilities, to these pieces. Sickle. It's not as scary as it looks. It's a tool for harvesting, a tool for support. And it's going to be in those tools. So using your healings, your meditations, your crystals, your essential oils, those tools that are important for you. Intentional bathing, calling in supports when you sleep. We need to release some of those things that are holding us back so we can really get on this horse and enjoy it. It's how we're going to be able to reap some of these rewards that we're really struggling to connect in with because they're not tangible. It's not right at our hands. So when it's not right at our hands, a lot of times we struggle to connect in with it. All right, let's look at what further insight and information we can share with my friends so I can get the most out of this first week. The Six of Swords in reversal. Know, guys, that there is no perfect amount to release, and if you wait for a certain quota or expectation, demand that you have with releasing and making yourself feel lighter, you're going to cause stagnation because it's an unachievable piece. We need to keep moving forward no matter how we feel. And that Six of Swords reminds us that we can cause ourselves more problems if we try and release too much, or if we get hyper focused in on, well, what we need to do. I have to be at this stage to do this. That kind of stuff is really going to amplify this storm because it's going to bring in the Tower, because you're being really hyper focused in on a certain achievement. That's not what this week is about. This week is about really connecting into those positives rather than, well, quantity, if you will. The Eight of Pentacles in reversal, really highlighting that need for making sure that we are remembering that it's going to be important that we don't hyperfixate on things. We want to have attention to detail because that detail is going to matter here. But that hyperfixation, that those really unrealistic expectations and demands of self are going to well, amplify some of this toxicity, some of this sludginess. It's going to be important to pay attention and be mindful of our symbols, our messages, those things hidden in plain sight. The tasks that bring us joy, the tasks that help us get things done. However, again, we have that balance. It's important. And of course, we do have the angel messages. 2 cards at the top, 2 at the side, and 2 at the bottom. That balance is going to be critical. Checking into you, making sure you feel present and in control of you, and that you're keeping things in perspective. That perspective is going to be everything this week. Also, we can't lie that the sun, that's going to be really important. Really connecting in and putting some intention into what it is we're doing. The things that bring us joy, the things that make us happy and ground ourselves. Make sure you're giving yourself that time, that permission and energy to engage in them. I want to thank you for joining me today. I apologize, this is very quick and brief, and that I'm not live. I'm hoping that next week I will be live on Twitch like normal. I'm hoping that, I'm actually hoping tomorrow I might be able to do a little bit of a live session on Twitch, as a friend of mine is trying to raise money and awareness for ovarian cancer. Read more of my friends into him. He's usually a streamer that's a nighttime streamer, so I don't usually get to raid to him. So I want to make sure that I try and get a little bit of a stream in for tomorrow. That said, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Next week's reading will be also recorded, as it is the Thanksgiving long weekend, and I am going to go spend some time with my family. You will have, of course, all the tools and supports in place as I take an extended little long weekend, if you will. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and please, like always, if you enjoyed this session, please give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithms, whatever the algorithms actually are, who knows. And then also, more importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. There's so much more coming forward and you don't want to miss any of it. Also, if you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Ko-fi and Patreon page. I've provided links below. Again, I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope that you are able to embrace the sun and enjoy this week. Until tomorrow, my friends.